when the US administration imposed trade barriers and tariffs on Canada and Mexico, it is largely to force the issue on immigration and fentanyl. Largely that. And so it's largely a domestic issue. But when they impose tariffs, additional 20% on China, and then on $25 billion of steel and aluminium imports, which also affect Europe, and I think that's different. That is targeted at world trade. That is protectionist. And of course, as we expected, both EU and China have announced retaliatory measures. The EU in April supposed to implement in 2 stages retaliatory tariffs on $28 billion worth of US imports into EU. The US administration say that if you do that, I will implement 200% tariff on French wine, or maybe all wines from EU. So you're seeing tit for tat, which is totally what we expected. This affects Singapore in a big way. We don't know whether at some point tariff will come our way into Southeast Asia. We don't know. But it doesn't have to affect us, right? We hope it doesn't affect us directly because we actually run a trade deficit with the US. Most of it is services deficit on trade in services. 75% of the deficit is due to trade in services. 25% of the trade in deficit is due to trade in goods. But we don't have to be the subject of tariff measures in order for a tariff war to affect us. I think once you have a retaliatory trade war, overall trade volume will come down. In the case of Singapore, we are a highly export-oriented country. Trade is 3 times our GDP. So we are part of the world's supply chain. When export from US to China goes down, from US to Europe goes down, from Europe and China to US also goes down, our suppliers here, people who make components, who supply services in the whole value chain of making these products, they will be affected. So that will be quite an immediate impact. A slightly longer impact, you don't have to wait too long to feel the impact, is that investments will start to come down. As it is, some of my friends working in corporates, they already say in corporate board rooms, when you decide on an investment, the board already say we got to put in an extra risk premium. The expected return got to be higher before we proceed because the situation is now uncertain. We are not sure what's the demand for our goods. If we put in this investment, will our production be able to sell, given that there are tariffs? Tariff war might be looming. So investment will be affected. So we may be in for quite a difficult economic period. So trade will be a major impact.
This is Yala.
Don't just stop there.
Listen to the full episodes on all streaming platforms.
Link in bio.